These are the plaintiffs, James and Lori. James says the defendant, his former landlord, failed to make the necessary repairs on his apartment after Hurricane Sandy, and rainwater poured into the home, causing a bad mold problem. He had to move his wife and kids out, forcing him to incur all sorts of moving and relocation expenses. And they're suing the negligent defendant for the $5,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Angelo Vassallo. He says the plaintiff came to him 10 months after Sandy hit and complained about a little drip of water coming through a crack in the kitchen window. He repaired the window, lickety-split. Then a few weeks later, the guy told him he was leaving his wife and family because of the leak. Huh? The plaintiff has lost his marbles. He owes nothing and is sure the judge will agree. He's accused of lazy landlording.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, James and Lori, you've asked us not to mention your last names, and we'll respect that. You're suing Angelo and Alberto Vassallo for $5,000. You say you're out actually more than that because according to you, he breached a rental agreement, causing you to move out. Tell me what happened.
Your Honor, on September 1st of 2012, myself and my wife signed a one-year lease agreement. We moved in. When we first moved in, the carpet was filthy. Carpet was filthy. He said he was going to clean the carpet. He never cleaned the carpet. Okay, we let that go. We moved in, got everything settled in. Hurricane Sandy came around. When Hurricane Sandy came around, the electric came off. Rain came. The rain came, and water started pouring into the kitchen window. What happened then was I called Angelo Vassallo, and I told him that we had water coming in. He told me that we would get it fixed. I mentioned it to his brother. They said, okay. After that, nothing happened. Nothing got corrected. A couple of weeks went by. I asked him again. We had rain. You know, rain would come and go. I asked him about it. Never took care of it. Third time I asked him again. A couple months went down the road. He said he was going to sit down. He was going to take care of everything. We always were taking care of things, but nothing got taken care of. Every time he'd come over to the house, he'd start rolling his eyes. He'd start rolling his eyes at me. You know, it was always something else. Okay. After that, we had a problem with the toilet. We had a problem with the toilet. The water wasn't flushing properly. At that junction, he came over. He started raising the water flow up and down. I mean, there was constant problems with this house. But you know what? I let it go. After 10 and a half months, I decided to move out. I moved out. I moved out of the premises.
Were you under a lease at the time?
I moved out, just myself. I removed myself from the premises because it was just unhealthy for me. I mean,
wait,
I was talking
you moved out and you left who behind?
I left my two boys and my wife behind. I moved out to find another premise to live.
Wait, hold on. It was just unhealthy, so you left your sons and wife behind?
No, I left everybody to find another place to live. Why don't
you just do that during the daytime? Why would you have to leave your family? Was there a different reason you left your family?
What's that?
Was there a different reason that you left your family?
I left my family because of the stress and the pressure that we had going on with this situation.
Sorry, between you and your wife's stress and pressure, or did you leave your family in harm's way with this unhealthy situation so that you could breathe, but they couldn't? I don't know. It's one or the other. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
I left my family because of this unhealthy situation.
But it was so unhealthy you left your kids there and your wife.
Well, I had to find a place to live. I couldn't find a place to live.
Why don't you just do it like the rest of us and do it during the daytime and go back to your family?
I had a job to do every day. I had to go to work every day.
Why do you have to leave your family in order to find a place? Does anybody else leave their family to find a rental place?
If need be necessary, yes, you have to.
I've been around a long time.
Okay,
I've never heard of that. See,
right.
My concern is just that I need you to be candid because you are the plaintiff in this case. You are suing. I have to believe you for you to win.
Okay.
And in the first sign of something that sounds amiss, you're picking up your paper, shuffling them, and you know, tell me what is. You have to be straight with me because I'm going to go that way, and they're going to say something totally different. You know that, right?
Oh well, I understand that. There's my side, there's his side, and then
all right. So you moved out and left your family behind in order to find an apartment, and no other reason.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Are you the wife?
Yes.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So he moves out, leaves his family behind. Does that make him a bad person?
Yes.
Is there any justification if he says, look, I got to work, I got to make sure I can pay the bills, so I'll move into this place and leave my family here?
That's what makes him a bad person.
Makes him a bad person. What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, the tragic hero is supposed to sacrifice himself for his lady love. Instead, he sacrifices his lady love and his kids for himself.
It's kind of the captain goes down with the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I got to say, it's really weird going inside the courtroom.
Tell me about the problem there.
There was problems from the rain coming in, from the storm. They did not fix everything. Through the stress, my husband had to leave. Sometimes some people can't handle certain things. And he left to just get away from the whole situation because it caused him a lot of stress.
It's 10 months after the hurricane?
Well, no. Every time it would rain, it would pour through the window.
Okay, do you have any pictures?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Were you paid up on your rent?
Yes.
Did you ever call a handyman or anybody to fix it and then withhold it from the rent?
We didn't have the money to withhold it. But we did tell him several times, sat him down several times and said, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. And every time, yes, yes. And then finally, within 11 months, he finally fixed it.
He did fix it?
He finally fixed it after the 11th month. But after, the aggravation of asking him over and over and over again.
Okay, and so you want him to pay you not just to move, the broker fee and the moving fees. You want him to pay your first month's rent in the next place, your last month's rent, your security deposit in the next place. Why would he do that? That's rent. You're not paying rent there. You have to pay rent somewhere. You'd get a bonus if he did.
No, I put down what was out of my pocket due to this. I planned on staying there with the Vasalos. And when I sat down and talked to him about it.
If you were going to stay, see, here's the problem that I'm having. You're telling me the situation's so intolerable. Not only should I let you out of your lease, but I should force them, because they are forcing you to live in an uninhabitable environment, to pay $5,000 to you. But you're telling me I would have stayed.
No, Your Honor.
If they would have fixed everything properly.
If they had fixed everything properly, I was looking to stay
Let me
originally.
hear your side, please. Mr. Vassallo.
All right, there was this problem with the leak.
When did you first learn about it?
Upon May the 13th.
You didn't hear about it back during Hurricane Sandy?
No, that wasn't not that way back. He only moved in September, so he's telling me that in 1 month that thing was leaking already.
Well, what he's saying is that due to the hurricane, the thing was leaking. Is that not true?
No.
You don't think that's true because the first time you hear of it, according to you, is in May?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How do you hear about it? Telephonically?
He called me up and he told me that...
Does anybody have phone records?
No.
Can you prove that you had constant complaints for 10 months? If you don't have phone records, by some other way? Did you send certified letters? Do you have emails? Do you have texts? Anything to prove your version versus his?
If the pictures show it.
Well, no. The pictures show what you took pictures of when you no longer wanted to live there.
You can call my mother.
We can call your mother.
She was there and she saw it happening, and
Tell me, who's the gentleman with you?
This is my brother.
Okay. So, do you have the repair bill from fixing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see it. So, when do you find out that he moves out? Like, what's your version?
In the month of July, he comes over to me. He calls me up. It was on Saturday afternoon. He calls me up. He says, I want to talk to you. I says, come over. I'll leave it next door. I says, come over. He came over to my house. We sit down in the dining room. I says, Matty, what's the matter? I mean, what's the problem? Oh, I'm leaving my wife and my kids because of this leak that is making me so... I says, I got really mad. I got up and I says, you what? You are telling me that you are going to leave your wife and kids behind? Abandon them instead of protecting them for that?
But I don't understand. If it's July, and according to you, you had it fixed in June, what was he saying, that the fix didn't take?
No, because he was looking for money.
Oh, so he didn't say the fix didn't take. He just said it was so stressful that I want you to pay me money?
Well, he wanted it, some money from me because of the audition that he caused stress.
Okay.
So I told him, I says, leave my house. You ain't come here and you're telling me that you're going to leave your wife and kids because of this. I says, you got to be out of your mind.
Okay.
About 3 weeks later, he had to pay the month of August. He didn't pay until about the 6th or the 7th. He comes over to me and he said, I want to be compensated before he pays me the rent. I says, compensate for what? Compensated because of the stress. I said, the stress, okay, what do you want? I says, you want money? He says, yeah. I says, how much do you want? He says, you tell me. I says, okay, you want $400 is enough? Give me the $2,000, you keep the $400. He says, I'll be right back. He went next door, get the money, come back, he give it to me, shake my hand, thank you very much, and all that. We're gonna be friends. We still gotta be friends. About 3 weeks later.
Hold on one second. Did you pay reduced rent for that following month?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay, go on.
About 2 weeks later, he calls me again and says, I want to talk to you. He says, you know, he's going to move out. The 1st of September, she's going to give me the key. He says, will you give me back the security? I says, no, that's no problem. You give me the key, I give you the security. And that was the end of it.
Okay, and did you give him the security?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you kidding me? Didn't he break the lease?
Wait.
No.
His lease was...
He had one more month in and you were going to let it slide.
You stayed to the end.
Hold on. Oh, you stayed to the end. He didn't. Got
We
it.
all stayed to the end.
Okay. So, will you give me back the security? And then you said yes. Then you gave him back security, and then he sued you for $5,000?
That's it.
Is this a great country or what?
That's why we're here for.
You walk up to a guy, you say, give me money because I have this problem. And then the guy gives you money. He says, pay only $2,000, you can keep the $400, so you settle it. And then you shake hands, and then you go and you sue the guy anyway and say, I want $5,000. That's a little odd, right? Why would that be legal? You do understand the premise of a settlement, right?
I understand the premise of a settlement, Your Honor, but also he was in breach of our agreement.
So then don't settle. Nobody forced you to settle.
Well,
those 400 looked pretty green to you at that moment. You took the deal, and then you come to court anyway. The deal was to compensate you for the great stress and heartache of a leak. So you got $400 knocked off your rent for your troubles, which is a settlement. And then unlike everybody else who gets a settlement and has to shut up and take it and be happy, you come to court and sue for $5,000. Why would that be appropriate?
Why would that be appropriate? Because it was an inconvenience to move. We had to move. We had to move to this inhabitable.
You had to move because your lease was up. You had to move anyway.
I had to move because of this inhabitable condition.
No, you didn't. You lived out the whole lease, and then you moved, and you took $400 for your troubles. What planet? Do you seriously think that this was going to go well for you?
I fulfilled my obligation, my contract.
Yeah, right now I'm going to fulfill my obligation, which is to enforce a settlement you entered into and to make you actually abide by the terms of your legal agreement to accept $400 for your troubles. My verdict is for the defendant.
No problem.
And so the plaintiff loses his case. Step on in here because the judge enforces the settlement that you made with the defendant yourself.
I feel it was. I don't feel it was acceptable, and I feel that justice will be served.
How will justice be served? Justice was just served.
It was not. I have to let it go. Turn it over.
No.
I have to turn it over now. It's out of my control.
To who? Turn it over.
Just let it go.
I have to let it go.
Let it go. Yeah. Move on.
Move on. It's over with.
Okay. Right.
It's over with.
Okay. Very good.
Right.
Okay. Right around the corner this way. All right. Jose. Okay. Come on in here. What's this all about for you?
That was very, very decidable because I think it was the whole truth, and the judge made the right decision.
What do you think he was trying to do?
No, still take more money from me. He already took it.
Are you rich?
No. I've been working for 52 years.
You got the rent paid this month?
No.
Not yet? Harvey?
There's a real simple principle. Once you settle a dispute, you can't then reopen it and go back to court. You do not get a second bite of the apple. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.